What's up, everyone? This is the Next Hit Podcast, episode 201 with Mikel and
And Tanyka.
we're real conversations on different topics. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about
Or one topic. Technically one
just
topic.
just a topic on
Yeah.
today's episode, and Tanika will present us with that topic today.
We're having fun with this one. We are going to be having a little discussion about the different generations. It's one that we
Oh
said
yeah,
what we would do. I think last year we said we were gonna do this topic, so
yeah,
here
different
we are doing
generations.
it.
Yeah, the boomers, the
Well, not even just the
millennials,
boomers. We're going even
the
further back.
Gen
We're
Z, the
doing the
Alpha.
silent generation, baby boomer, obviously Gen X, millennial,
Yeah.
Gen Z, probably all the way to Alpha. I do know we have another one, but I think at the time of me doing these notes, that hadn't been announced yet. So we'll see. I can't remember if I did or not. So
I have a question for you.
okay.
Would you think the silent generation adapt to today's generation? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Really? You think
But
so?
I think it would depend on the person.
Huh.
But my grandpa's a part of the silent generation and he's
Uh-huh.
adapted for the most part.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And again, I say it depends on the person because my
Uh-huh.
grandfather
Mhm.
has been in he's been in technology for the past 50 years
Uh-huh.
and beyond that.
Okay.
He worked at IBM for 50 years and obviously you
Mhm.
deal with the growing changes of technology when you're in IBM, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm. Okay. All right.
I think yeah. Now, on the other flip side of that, there's my grandma who's also a silent generation. She don't know nothing.
Mm.
She knows nothing, y'all. You tell her to turn on a computer, she doesn't know how to do it. She also doesn't know how to shut down a computer.
Right.
She knows nothing. Poor thing. It's okay. They left me for it.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, they're good right now. They don't have to work in a generation where right.
Yeah.
So
And again,
yeah,
I
they're
think
okay.
I think that depends. 'Cause again,
Yeah.
I knew
They
someone
have,
who
yeah.
I think she would have been probably part of the silent generation. I think
Yeah.
she was in her 70s when she passed, and that was in 2019, I think.
C
And
yeah.
I mean, she was still working. She was still working, man. She essentially worked till the end. She was a
Oh,
coworker. Yeah.
people I don't think I don't know if I will be able to stop working either. Not saying
The thing
I get
is I mean, I don't wanna speak for her,
yeah.
but I feel like the only reason she kept working was because of the
Yeah.
lawyer she was working for. He was essentially gonna keep working until he was 80, which he did do,
Mhm.
but, she unfortunately died before that happened. She
Mhm.
was diagnosed with cancer, and yeah, she was pretty much diagnosed,
Mhm.
I think it was December of 2018 and or November 2018. She was gone 10 months later. So it's like when you think of that too, it's like, is it worth it?
Mhm.
I don't think it's worth it to keep like literally working yourself into the ground. Um, it's yeah, it was
Mm.
sad. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
I brought this
yeah.
conversation down. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You're good. You're good. You're good. But yeah, no, I just it's yeah, the silent generation, they love to they love to work. I still would just like to work until I'm like probably
Yeah.
70 or over.
I mean,
It's
again, my
like
grandpa kept working
yeah.
until he wasn't 65, but I think he was 68, 69. He kept working till. Um,
Mhm.
and trust me, my grandpa did not choose that. He didn't
Mm,
he didn't truly wanna he didn't have to. He didn't wanna keep working, but, with life going on at the time, he kinda had no choice.
mm,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
I think he was 60 I mean, I think he was 69 because I think he was close to 70 when he retired. Um,
yeah.
and that's my grandpa now is so he's been retired now for about 13, 14 years.
Mm,
Yeah,
right.
so
Okay. All right.
but anyways,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
talk about the generations. Let's start with the silent generation. So,
The ones that grew up in the Great Depression and World War II.
some of them, yes, some of them, yes.
Yeah.
The term silent generation refers to the demographic cohort born roughly between 1928 and 1945,
Yeah.
who were characterized by their perceived conformity and civic mindedness. This
Mhm.
generation earned its name from a 1951 Time magazine article that
Mhm.
described them as quiet and dutiful. They came of age during the Great Depression, as we mentioned, and
Mhm.
World War II,
Mhm.
experiences that fostered a sense of resilience, duty, and a desire for stability and order.
Right.
So, some characteristics in history. So, the birth years that we just mentioned is between 1928 and 1945. Um, we talked about the origin of the name already. It's values. They're often described as conformists, which we kind of said, respectful of authority, and having a strong
Mhm.
work ethic,
Mhm.
shaped by the economic and political hardships of their formative years.
Mhm.
In later life, some members of this generation later experienced significant social and political upheaval, like the Vietnam War, which
Mhm.
challenged the stability they had sought.
Mhm. Like being around Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm
Right?
X. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the silent generation.
Mhm.
Let's move on to the baby boomers.
Yeah. Ones that experience post-war population booms and rise
S-
television.
Hence, baby boomers.
Yeah.
Baby boomers came about because, well, soldiers are coming back home and,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Mhm.
so yes, baby boomer demographic cohort refers to the generation born between 1946 and
Uh-huh.
1964, a period of significant population growth following World War II. This
Huh.
generation, currently aged approximately 61 to 79, is often characterized by the social and economic events they experienced during their formative years. There are a large cohort with about 73 million in the US alone as of
Yep.
2025.
Yep.
I realize that my grandparents are actually closer to the baby boomer population. I just
Mm.
realized that. My grandma's born in 41, my grandpa's
See,
born in 44.
so that's the US. I wonder what's it like in what's the
Well, again,
Canadians?
Canadians did go into war. We were part of World War II.
Mhm.
We were more a part of World War II as, as we always do, going in to spread peace. But this wasn't our fight.
Mhm.
Um, Not like with World War One. We actually went into that war. We fought. Um, so yeah, we still went to war though. Just like with
Mhm.
the war following 9/11,
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
went to
Mhm.
that too.
Mhm.
But we just weren't it wasn't our fight. But we,
Mm.
still gotta go in there, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So, all right. So the age range we just talked about, 61 to 79. Talked about
Mhm.
the population. Key experiences. They experienced major social and political changes, and the cohort can be further divided into early boomers, so teens in the 1960s, and Generation Jones. Those are teens in the 1970s, who face
Mhm.
different historical contexts, which, yeah, I feel like so many different things went on between the 60s and the 70s, like
Yeah.
completely different experiences.
Hmm.
Significance. As a large demographic group, their experience, economic shifts, and social changes have had a lasting impact on society.
Hmm.
All right, for the next
Generation X, the MTV era. Remember that?
Generation X. So,
Early person computers and one had independent cultures. Go
yeah,
ahead.
what Both my parents are.
Mhm,
Generation X is a demographic cohort following the baby boomers and
mhm,
preceding the millennials.
mhm.
Researchers and popular media often use the mid 1960s as its starting birth years and the late 1970s to early 1980s as its ending birth years. As far as I understand, yeah, I believe, yeah, it says here that the start date was 1965 and the end date is 1980.
Right,
Um, so yeah, those ending birth years was generation generally defined as people born, as I just said, 1965 to 1980.
right.
Um, so the characteristics, Gen Xers are typically described as resourceful, independent,
Mm,
and good at
yes.
maintaining work-life balance. They were the first generation to grow up with personal computers. Gen Xers
Yes.
tend to have liberal views on social issues. They are more ethnically diverse than boomers. So
Mm, yeah,
that
yes, yes, that's true. Yeah, no, that
that's
was
the Gen
just
X. Now let's move on to maybe I'm a little
our
biased, but the
gener
best generation,
our generation.
millennials
Raise
or Gen Y.
yeah,
Um,
so we came in age during the internet and smartphone rise. So,
yes, yeah, we lived through yeah the internet. The internet, I don't even think
yep,
was established quite yet, or at least wasn't made out to the public by the time, like,
yep,
especially definitely not when you were born and not yet quite when I was born, if
yeah,
I remember correctly.
mhm,
And then,
and
yes, we had like the rise of the changes with technology in terms of like
mhm,
your phone. You had the flip, or but no,
mhm.
sorry, back up. You had the brick, then you had the flip, then then
The
now we
flip
have
and
what we have now.
smartphones, and then the flip is still relevant to today
Oh
for this
yes, but in
time
terms of
too.
the progression,
Yeah, yeah, the progression. Yeah,
that's more
yeah,
going backwards.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
progressing a
yeah,
little bit,
yeah, yeah,
but in terms of progression, yeah,
yeah,
we've lived through that. Listen, we lived through dial-up. We
yeah.
experienced dial-up.
Uh huh.
Um, and I still hear that sound and, ooh, ugh, it gives me the heebie-jeebs.
Uh huh.
But, yeah,
We also experience student debt, expensive housing market as well.
I
We're
would
doing it right
say
now.
yeah, I would say f when it comes to student debt, tuition being as high as it is,
Mhm,
but that's we say that now, but student debt is just gonna get worse and worse and worse
mhm,
because
mhm.
tuition is gonna get higher and higher and higher
Yeah, yeah.
as time goes on. So what we experience when it comes to student debt is going to be very different than what someone else after us is going to have to
Mhm,
experience with
mhm,
student debt.
mhm.
Because like when I had tuition, my
Yeah.
tuition was a little over $3,000 a year.
Mhm.
And I was in school. I started college in 2009.
Mm.
Um,
So
and
go ahead, go ahead.
my brother, his tuition, it was close to double the
Oh,
amount that I
wow.
paid.
Yeah,
But he got
yeah.
lucky. We won't get into
Mhm.
it. But yeah,
Yeah,
like
so
that's the
yeah, yeah,
problem when it comes to
yeah.
student debt.
Mm, mhm.
Um, okay,
So
so oh,
it says we're the most educated generation in Canadian history. So
I
I just want you
I
guys to know.
I
Just want
would
you guys to know.
I would agree with that. But again, like yeah, I would agree with that. Because if you look at the fact that like for example, like the type of math that we had to learn,
Yeah.
our generation or our
Mhm,
parents' generation has no freaking clue how to do
mhm.
some of that stuff. But I
Yeah.
can say this right now, when time comes and I have to help my children with certain things, I'm not gonna remember a goddamn thing that I learned. I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Mhm, mhm,
But
mhm.
anyway,
Yeah,
yes,
go ahead.
millennials are people born between approximately 1981 and 1996, following
Mhm,
Gen X and preceding Gen Z. Also known as Gen Y, they are the generation that came of age around the new millennium and are known
mhm.
for being comfortable with technology, having grown up
Yep.
with the internet's rise. They are a significant part of the workforce and often defined by technological fluency and
Mhm,
adaptability.
mhm.
Um, so yeah,
Yep.
we talked about that being adaptable to experiences, web technology, and social change.
Mhm,
Ethical compass. Many millennials have a strong moral compass that
mhm.
influences their decisions as consumers and workers.
Yep. So So we also hold a 27% population share in Canada, and that hasn't been updated since 2021. So it probably is around probably oh yeah, I don't know, it's probably either less or a little more. And
Mhm.
it's probably around probably less because we have moved on from generation to generation. So we're on Gen Alpha or
Yeah,
beta or whatever.
yeah,
So yeah, it's probably either less or it's probably either a little more.
yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
All right, Gen Z. Well, my brother
Gen Z.
is.
Yeah, Gen
Generation
Z.
Z refers to people born roughly between 1997 and 2012
Yep,
who are
the
known as
TikTok era.
first digital natives because they grew up with the internet, or better
Mhm.
yet, the internet was ready here for them,
So,
ready to go.
around
Um,
COVID-19 and school disruptions, it says here. So go ahead.
well, yes, yeah, that's what they had to experience.
Yeah.
The generation is characterized by being tech savvy, socially conscious. You know what?
Uh,
Back up. Not all of you are. Okay. I have a client who is literally maybe a year older than my brother, doesn't
mhm.
know anything to do with
Well,
technology. And I literally had to say to my boss,
yeah, no,
I'm
no.
sorry, he's 23. What do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
Don't get it.
there's a lot of yeah.
If my boss is better at technology than a 23-year-old, something has gone wrong. Because
Yeah.
we talked about my boss and the things that when it comes to technology for that poor guy. But this is like, come on. But anyways, yes.
Mhm, mhm,
Tech savvy, socially conscious, pragmatic about finances and other things, and concerned with mental health, which I think is fantastic.
mhm.
They have been shaped by events like the Great Recession. So did we.
Yep.
We lived through that too. So the millennials, we lived through that too.
Yeah.
Well, we all did, but
Yeah.
2012. That happened during, I believe, the recession happened during
Yes.
my last year of high school,
Mhm, mhm.
which would have been into, like, 2008, 2009.
Yep.
So, anyways.
So I give them the credit here. They're the generation. I don't know if it's the millennials or the Gen Z
Mhm.
that brought the more awareness to I think
Well, it
both
coins it to Gen
generation
Z. It quotes it to
both
Gen Z.
generation Gen Z that
It
brought
points it to them.
more
Yeah,
the okay, so they brought more the mental health awareness and
yeah.
other types of awareness.
Yeah, because I
So
feel
I
like
think
with Gen Z, they're of a time where it was maybe a little more socially acceptable,
yeah.
no matter what year you were born,
Mhm,
that, where it's a little more socially acceptable to kinda have those conversations, whereas I feel like with Gen X or no, sorry, not Gen X, millennials,
mhm.
we're also dealing with people who were born in the '80s where, um,
Do you
maybe
not
they're not as willing to have those conversations at
do
least,
do
if
you
even
not
if they're dealing with it.
do you not think it's also the young millennials that helped out? Well,
Maybe young millennials, but again, like I I would still have to say it's probably more like if we're saying young millennials, I still have to say like 95, 96. But that's just right teetering at the Gen Z at that point if you're talking 95. 96
mhm,
is Gen Z.
nice. Yeah, I know, yeah, I
So,
would say something, yeah,
but
yeah.
I feel like even then, um, maybe not even as much. Like I feel like people who were born like maybe say 98, 99, 2000
Mhm.
and so forth are a little more willing to have those conversations.
Mm,
'Cause they
okay.
just yeah. Um, 'Cause I would have to say, like,
Mm,
for me, witnessed a lot of different things with my mother when I
mhm,
was younger, like,
mhm.
during that time, during the '90s, and although my mother was very open about it, um, to an extent, there were some things that she still didn't feel comfortable having certain conversations about at that time. So I really feel like the '90s we were still, kind of figuring it out,
But, I mean, our
you
brother's
know?
91, I think he's kinda
Yeah,
working
but so am
yeah,
I,
yeah.
and
Are you
I
are
I
you
s go ahead.
are you open to talking about or are you
I'm
just
open
feeling
about it now, but
mhm.
I will say, like, when I first started experiencing what I was experiencing, like, I was, um, a little more open to the idea of figuring that out because I've seen my mom go through it,
Mm,
and not just my mom, mental
yeah.
health runs pretty rampant in my family, but at the same time, it was something that I didn't really wanna fully talk about. I felt like I had to kind of work through that myself a little bit, and I
Mhm,
didn't feel as
mhm,
open to talk about it. I really feel like in the last, I'll say 5, 7 years or so, with, like, the Let's Talk and stuff like that, we've really opened up to having those conversations that we weren't even really having when
mm,
I first started experiencing high
mhm,
anxiety.
mhm,
Um, which that I think when I started really feeling that was about 10, 11 years ago.
mhm,
We weren't quite having those conversations yet, not in the way we do today. We've really
mhm.
done a lot of progression.
Right.
And that in that case, I have to coin that to the Gen Z. They're the one. It's not us. It's not millennials.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Mm,
so they went through the events of the Great Recession, the rise of social media, and the COVID-19 pandemic, as you mentioned before.
yep. Yep.
So key characteristics, digital natives. They are the first generation to grow up with the internet, smartphones, social media.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah, they're
Yeah.
socially conscious. Gen Z is known for being socially aware, diverse, and inclusive. Probably
Mhm.
so socially aware that sometimes it can get annoying for some of us. But anyways,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
tend to prioritize authenticity and sustainability. Pragmatic. They approach work
Mhm.
with a pragmatic mindset and are often focused on financial stability and saving. Great. They are also described as entrepreneurial and adaptive, which
Yeah.
I would agree with.
So
Um,
I have a problem with baby boomers calling Gen Z lazy, right? They're not
yeah.
lazy.
No, I wouldn't. If
They're
anything,
most safe. They're most safety aware.
yeah, but
That
baby
yeah.
boomers don't come after Gen Zs. They
I
come
feel
after
like
millennials.
I feel like they do come at it both,
Mm,
both
but it
generations.
really started with millennials. They came after
Yeah,
us
yeah. I
because
feel
they were also coining, I think before we really knew the separation of the generations, they
yes.
were coming after millennials, grouping us with Gen Zs as well.
Yes,
Um,
that's what I noticed a lot of articles like to do. Like,
yeah.
like, instead of just calling us millennials, they call us Gen Zs. I'm like, "What?"
Well, I feel like they were referring to um when they were referring to I'm sorry, when they're referring to Gen Zs, they would
Yes.
call them millennials. And then I would have to be like, no, they're not a millennial. We're not a
Mhm,
Gen Z.
mhm,
I think what I will say though, what I will say,
mhm,
um, is I do think that there are some millennials, I want to say closer to the 96 millennials,
mhm,
that are maybe a little bit more lazy than I would say the older millennials.
mhm,
Um, their work ethic can be maybe sometimes a little bit different.
mhm,
The only reason I say this, and I'm going to say this as well, not all people in this age range, but my mom works with a lot of younger people,
uh-huh,
and they're like even younger than me,
mhm,
and their work ethic is really bad. Like, they are more focused
yeah,
on their phones or,
yeah,
having conversations or being in a bathroom for an hour when for what? They she says some of them aren't pooping, so, like, what are you doing? But their work ethic is just very different, and when I hear my mom talk about that, I'm just like, "It must be nice because, like, I'm drowning in my work, and I'm actually working." You know?
mhm,
I'm not, like, sitting on my phone. Like, yeah, sure, sometimes I might, like, play something, like a video or something, but I'm
mhm,
actually working. 9
mhm,
times out of 10, I'm just listening to a podcast or
yeah,
editing this podcast or my other one. So, I'm working, and it's ridiculous to me when I hear her talk about that because 'cause I'm like, "How?" Like, how are you do you need work to do? Like, you know what I mean? So, I do think the younger millennial can be a little bit problematic about
Yeah.
stuff. Um, but I digress. Um, where are we at here? So,
Yeah, yeah. I do agree with what you're saying. Like, I at times it's like if you feel bored at work and every single thing, I usually what I do, I try to find something to do as much as
yeah,
possible.
yeah,
I don't understand it's very hard with what I do basically at work at times,
mhm.
right? But yeah, I try to find something to do. But like
In my line of
usually,
work, there is
yeah,
always something that can be done.
yeah, 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 yeah. I try to find
So,
something to do. So uh, usually person like that usually try to goes on their phone, looks on their phone, or goes and
exactly.
watch them for like an
An hour,
hour. You know,
and you're not, like,
yeah,
pooping.
yeah,
You're just in there to be in there.
just on his phone for like, yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I'll say that's kind of true. Yeah, because I did work with the Gen Z like uh when I worked at I'm not gonna say the thrift store name, a thrift store.
mhm,
Uh, and I had to, you know, actually, I worked with 2 Gen Zs, and I had to, basically, you know, train them and basically, tell them what needs to be done here, this and that, you
and I'm
know?
gonna assume, like, I know you're not saying the name of it, but I'm going to assume it's the second one you were at. The second thrift store you were at, not the first one.
No, no, they're all in the same thrift store. Yeah, the second thrift store, yeah. The
Yeah,
second
so
store.
not, like, the one that you were at when I met you,
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah,
the other
yeah,
one.
yeah, the second,
Okay.
yeah, that is that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah, I had to just basically train them, just tell them what needs to be done. So and they wouldn't do it most of the time. Or they would tell me basically, "Oh, I hurt my finger," and or I hurt my knee, and
And they're like
and most of the time, yeah, it's because they don't like, they haven't
they just don't wanna
experienced
work.
aggressive yeah, they haven't experienced aggressive work or they haven't experienced like, uh, uh, aggressive work,
They
what's
don't
the
care,
yeah,
is
I
the
would say
bottom
so,
line of
yeah.
it. They just wanna make their
Yeah,
coins
yeah,
and go about their day.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
basically, so
When you actually have to work.
yeah, yeah, so, yeah, you had to work, it had to be aggressive, but yeah. Yeah, I do agree. They can be lazy at times, but,
Yeah.
you know, I don't wanna say that because there are some, like, Gen
No,
Zs who are
no. Yeah.
hardworking and on the ball. Because I seen it before. I see a lot of Gen Zs, but there's also Gen Zs that just don't understand the workplace or don't wanna work or just like, or man boys. I seen man boys in both generation, our generation and their generation as well.
Yeah.
The guys who have girlfriends, that the girlfriends take care of them and just basically treat them
No.
like their
I feel like that's
moms.
all generations.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, in different ways. It's
Right.
in in different ways. Like each generation probably has a different way of how they handle those types of man boys. So like, yeah. So
Yeah.
um yeah, yeah. So, I get it, I get it. But baby boomers, slow it down with the we're 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 too lazy or we're not hardworking or we're just like, oh, work harder because the house market is when I was
Yeah.
a young
When
guy,
you
the
bought your
house
house for $200,000, now look at it.
well, two sorry, $5,000.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's true.
Ooh,
But,
ooh,
like, when we got this house that we're currently in, I
yeah,
believe the house was on the market for 75. That was 20 plus years ago.
yeah,
This house now is easily over $1,000,000.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, that just kinda goes to show, like, the market is so
uh-huh,
different.
yeah,
Like, my generation will most likely never be able to afford a
uh-huh,
house,
uh-huh,
or at least not easily, or at
mhm,
least the mass majority of us, because I can't do a down payment on a $1,000,000 house.
uh-huh,
Like, it's
yep,
impossible.
mhm,
But
mhm,
anyways,
mhm, but the baby boomers are gonna tell you different.
yeah,
I
I'm
got
sure they
5
will.
houses back when in my day.
Yeah, if I could get a house for $20,000 today, I'm golden, golden.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
exactly. Back in my day.
so
Go
we
ahead.
talked about the Gen
Gen
Z
Gen
is,
Zs.
more open about mental health and
Yes.
shows a significant concern for it.
Mhm.
They're known as cautious consumers.
Mhm.
They're often cautious shoppers who prefer value and authenticity over impulse buys. They're shaped by major events. Their views and attitudes have been influenced by growing up during the Great Recession
And
and COVID-19
they
pandemic. So
care
has
more
all of
about
ours,
yeah.
mind you, not just them, but leading to a focus on security and
Mm.
stability.
And they care about more about politics than I feel like both generations do, but like you're saying, well, actually, Gen X, Gen Millennials, and Gen Z care about politics. I think
Yeah,
more in terms of that. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Um, so yeah, Generation Alpha, which is
Yeah, that generation hasn't been born yet. But
oh
yeah,
yes,
it
they
is
have.
born. Yeah, yeah, they have. But like, I'm just saying, it's
No,
just
no, they
like
have.
that-
We're done with
it's,
Gen Alpha
yeah.
now,
I mean, like they have experienced too much. That's why.
right? But
But
no,
yeah,
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 but
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
um, the Gen Alpha refers to people born between 2010 and 2024,
Hmm.
succeeding Generation Z. Coined by Mark McCrindle, the generation is the first to be born entirely in the 21st century and is characterized by being technologically savvy, radically diverse, and having been significantly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic in their early lives. Most members of Generation Alpha have millennial parents.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
diverse as of 2023, the white population was a minority in this generation, making it the most racially and ethically diverse yet in the United States. Impacted by the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic significantly affected their early education and social development, increasing reliance on digital tools for learning and connection. Large and influential, this generation is projected to be the largest in history, with over 2 billion members globally as of 2025. They are also increasingly influential in household purchasing decisions. Which what?
2 billion. 2 billion. Generation Alpha is 2 billion
Yeah.
overall.
Mhm.
On Canada, it says 4 million, but
Yeah.
by 2024. But it's okay.
Unique educational needs. They are expected to require different educational methods with a greater emphasis on visual, oral, or sorry, oral, don't know what that means, and kinesthetic learning and are more prone to distractions.
Yeah. Well, our environment's looking to stop that. So
Yeah.
when it comes to distractions, yeah, they're
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're trying to do at least here in
yeah,
Canada, they're trying to do it, yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, our generation are birthing the alphas and the beta generation as well. So like basically, um, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's still right. And they're the generation's gonna have a I mean, I would say like both like, all three generations, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, each generation is gonna have a little easier than another generation, I would say. Like
Yeah,
it's yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
given. Yeah.
yeah. So like I feel like the hard generation that had it hard, in my opinion, were the silent generations, the baby boomers, and then and then your mom's generation, Gen
Gen
X, I would
X.
say. Yeah,
Yeah.
that had it hard. harder, which it made it easier for, the other generations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah. Go ahead.
So the relationship now, we're going to talk about the relationship between the generations,
Mhm.
is characterized by the transfer of knowledge, values, and traditions while also being defined by mutual respect, care, and, you know, we'll see.
Which
These,
generation is that one?
we're talking about all of them. So,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
all together. So, these connections, whether within families or communities, provide essential support for individuals of all ages, leading to benefits like improved mental and physical health, a stronger sense of purpose, and resilience. Opportunities for intergenerational interaction can help bridge gaps and combat negative stereotypes by fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation between different age groups.
Mhm,
So, the benefits of intergenerational relationships. So, wisdom and knowledge. Younger generations can learn from the life experiences of older generations, gaining wisdom that helps with personal development.
mhm,
Improved well being, meaningful relationships across generations have been shown to improve physical health, reduce anxiety and depression, and combat loneliness for both younger and older generations or individuals. Stronger identity and purpose. These relationships help individuals, particularly young people, develop a stronger self concept and sense of meaning. For older adults, they can provide a renewed sense of purpose. Cultural preservation. Intergenerational connections are crucial for preserving family identity, traditions,
mhm.
and cultural heritage through storytelling and the transfer of information. Social cohesion. Interactions between different age groups can increase pro-social behavior and a sense of shared hu-
I'm
humanity.
I'm all for that type of, like, if you're in a workplace, and if I just saw a picture where different generational men are, around each other. So a 90-year-old, a 43-year-old, a 33-year-old, and a 53-year-old all together took a picture, and the post was basically, "Is this the type of friendship, work friendship you would be around?" I'll say yeah, because that's that's a type of, like, when you on like lunch break, that's the type of conversation you're gonna have. The type of conversation you're gonna have with each other,
Mhm.
right? When you're on lunch break, you're telling the 44 to 53-year-old is telling the 90-year-old, giving the 19-year-old some advice on what to do. So it develops that 90-year-old in for his future. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah,
No.
I would agree.
So, like, you kind of mold and develop that 90-year-old around different types of generations instead of being around the same age group where, it's just basically, you know, you have the same thoughts,
Yeah,
and, you understand what I'm trying to say.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
when I was at my first job,
Mhm,
I would have been 22,
mhm,
21 to 22,
mhm, mhm,
and I made a good friend of a woman who she easily would have been in her late
mhm.
50s, early 60s,
Yeah.
and you know I adore talking to her. She was very, um, helpful and, you know, helped me through, and it wasn't just about work, talk
Mhm,
personal stuff as well, so,
mhm, mhm.
um, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
like, yeah, you learn a lot from the older generation when you're a young
yeah,
person, so I'm like,
yeah,
that's a good thing to be around
yeah,
older people,
yeah,
different
and it's like
generations.
the coworker that I was talking about before too,
Mhm,
at the beginning at the top of the episode, um, like, she was in her 70s, I think her late or mid to late how old was she? She was 76 when she passed, but, again, I'm in my, my late 20s by the
mhm,
time, I met her. I think I was 26 when I started here at my job, and, um, yeah, she was another one that I was close with, um, 'cause, she'd come into their office as when I was a reception, and she would come out and talk to me, and I would go to her, talk to her, and, 'cause she was
mhm,
right behind my desk, and,
mhm,
again, like an older person who
mhm,
I had, you know, a great working relationship with, and
mhm, mhm.
so but
Yep, yep, yeah.
anyways,
Go ahead.
how to foster these relationships. So seek shared activities. So engage in hobbies like gardening, music, or hiking with people from different
Mhm,
generations. Participate in community programs. Volunteer through organizations that intentionally create opportunities for different age groups to connect, such as intergenerational clubs or mentorship programs. Leverage religious and spiritual settings. Faith communities often provide natural spaces for intergenerational connection through shared practices and storytelling. Um, and also create situations where different generations can share their unique strengths and learn from one
yep,
another in reciprocal exchange.
mhm,
Um, and just to kind of go through again, the generational differences. The concept of a generation gap often refers to differences in social identity, values, and behaviors between age cohorts. These differences can be seen in slang, communication styles, and social
mhm,
norms.
uh-huh,
Public health and sociological research also examines intergenerational issues such as equity, mobility, and the long-term impacts of events like to- tox, toxics or economic shifts across generations.
mm.
And that's basically it.
Yeah, like, no, that's like, here's what I do agree with, like, a as far as, like, dating, like, within, a 10-year range, maybe I'm different, but, like, for me, I will probably would date someone, like, under 10 years, right?
Mhm,
Because it's not that 10-year range, so, like, 30 to 20, 30 to 40,
mhm.
50 to 40, I'm okay with those because you're an adult and
Yeah, but I also
basically
think there's a difference
mhm,
between
mhm,
dating someone when you're like 40 and you're dating someone who's 30. I think
mhm,
it definitely changes things because you're not dealing with someone who doesn't necessarily know who they are or know what they want, right? Like I know with like for example, my ex-husband was dating someone
mhm,
who was 10 years younger than him. He's my age, so that was I think a year ago. So he was, you know, 33, 34, dating
I'm
someone who is about 10 years younger than him. And I
there
think there
so
is a
so
huge difference between dating someone at 33 and the person you're dating is 23. I think it's
yes.
very different,
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's how I
you
was gonna
know?
go at 30 to 20, but by the age of 30 to 40, I would think you know what you want between
That's what
those
I
2
mean.
ages.
That is what I mean is
I
I
think you know
think
what you
you're in
want
a safer
at 30,
place
yeah, at
dating
30.
someone who's,
Yeah,
30 when
yeah.
you're 40,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But when you're
Yeah,
30 and 20, I
yeah,
would say so. But I'm okay, like I said, like, if you're do that, go ahead and do that. But, like, at the end of the day, I'm
yeah,
just like, you know, yeah, I do agree, like,
yeah.
a woman or
Because, like, your
a man
maturity
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, women mature faster than men, that's, I
yeah,
think, something they've proved or whatever,
yeah.
but like, with him and, like, where he was concerned in the demise of his relationship, he was, I think, with her for a year. She didn't even have the decency to have a conversation with him as to
Mhm,
what went wrong. Why is she ending this relationship?
mhm, mhm,
And, he kinda came to me kind of seeking answers, and I'm just like, "I can't compute that because I didn't even do that to him." You know what I
mhm,
mean? Like,
mhm,
mind you, I was dealing with a marriage, but
mhm,
I I was just like, "She owes you, like,
mhm,
something."
mhm.
She owes you a conversation. So I think, like, I think that's an isolated situation, but I'm sure there are people out there who are roughly around that age or maybe even a little older. If they decide
Ah,
to break up with somebody or just like,
yes.
I don't have to owe you any explanation, which is, I
Mhm,
think, um, not the way to go. It
Mhm.
depends on the reason for the relationship ending, but if there's really like, the person's nonviolent towards you or um, uh, verbally abusive or something or emotionally abusive, like they're not abusive, point blank,
Mhm.
period. As long as that's not what's happening, you can have a conversation with the person and be like, "I'm done,"
Mhm.
like, and here's
Mhm.
why.
Mhm.
She didn't do that. And I'm just like, "That's weird. That's weird."
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think, like, that just also shows, like, the maturity level, like, your age is
Mhm.
showing a little bit there, and,
Mhm.
yeah, that's not cool. So, yeah, I do
Do
think there's a difference between,
do you think
uh
it also depends who you're around as well? Or does it, you know
um, I do think that the company you keep can influence the kind of person you'll be,
Mhm.
um,
Eh,
but,
generation-wise, like, or just
um no,
or just
I think just generally,
mm,
um, but again, even if, like, your company is maybe not the greatest, there's no excuse for not being a decent human. If those people aren't great people,
mhm.
then change the company that you're keeping,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, we'll talk about it more when we do the screen take episode, but there's a documentary that I watched on Netflix, for those who know what I'm talking about, The Crash, and let me tell you,
Mhm.
that we'll talk about it more then, but the main part of this, what I wanted to talk about is the person at the the head of this, the topic, the person
Mhm.
who's a topic here of this documentary. She didn't appear to be a very nice person, and I truly believe that the reason she wasn't a very nice person is due to some of the company she kept. Because I'll talk about it more then, but when you hear people literally enabling her behavior, it's just like, are we seeing the same thing? Like, what?
Mhm.
So I do think it is very important to have people in your corner who are going to hold you accountable,
Mhm.
even if you don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Are gonna hold you accountable, are good people generally, and I think that's very important to have because when you don't, you end up like that girl.
Mm.
So, we'll talk about it more then, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's well, we forgot one generation.
Yeah. Yeah, she
And
would be
yeah,
considered a Gen Z.
Gen Z? Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I believe she's in her early 20s now.
Okay.
Yeah, when this incident happened, she would
Yeah.
have been, 17, I believe.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
it was just, for about 4 years ago.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about it more then, though,
Yeah.
the actual documentary itself then,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, so what I was trying to say is like believe we forgot one generation. That's what I meant.
The more
One
recent one, yeah, because when
recent
I did
one.
these notes, we didn't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
that yet.
Yeah, yeah. So
The ones
generation
that are barely born.
yeah,
Yeah,
beta. Beta.
beta.
So it just says a little description here. Emer- Emerging generation expected to grow up in an AI heavy world.
Mm,
Um And then it just says, well, I don't know, I could do, well, there's a description here, but um, so mhm, Generation Beta refers to demographic cahoots expected to follow Generation Alpha, uh, born from roughly 2025 onwards. The name extends to Greek letter sequence began with Generation Alpha,
yeah. I
marking
can see what they're doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
market symbolic restart after the end of the
Alphabet?
Latin alphabet alphabetical series XYZ.
Yes.
This group will grow up in an era shaped by advanced automation, climate adoption, and a digital immersive world. So key facts, obviously, birth years circle 2025 to early 2040,
Mhm.
preceded by Gen Alpha 2010s to mid 2020s. Technological context, AI integration, climate smart infrastructure, define influence, post-pandemic norms, digital first education. So they're going to be like the first generation that'll be smarter than us when it comes to uh digital, advanced technology.
Yeah, I feel it
Um,
happening now.
Actually,
Say that right now.
it makes you feel old and
That's what I'm
outdated,
saying.
out of touch.
That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
but you
I already feel it
technically
now.
you technically I feel like we're in probably the first ages of AI, but like they're probably going to be around where like the AI is going to be like
Oh God, I
deep,
don't even want to talk
deep,
about it.
into integration,
I don't even want to talk
like
about it.
probably in its like fifth, fourth generation or
This is
something like
stressing
that.
me out.
We're in the first generation probably in
Lord,
AI right now.
I hate this. I
So
hate
like
it here.
so basically we're going to be outdated
Ugh.
as soon as they
At that
come.
point,
I'm
AI
gonna
would have
be
taken me out. I'm telling you.
yeah.
So
So yeah, we're gonna be. I mean, I'll be adapting. So like
no, I'll try
anyways,
my best to adapt as much as
yeah,
possible,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I already feel like I'm up behind. I don't know how to do I don't know nothing about AI. The only thing I know about
I
AI
know.
is
Yeah,
Google searches.
yeah.
I've never
Eh,
used
I
ChatGPT or
understand.
any other form of AI,
Eh,
uh, on purpose.
eh, This listen, they're gonna be all about. They're gonna be a new generation. Alpha and beta is gonna be like, yeah, but those guys are old, right? They don't.
I
They're out there.
I feel that now.
Those guys are
Like,
old. Like
I'm officially 35 by the time this is being done, and I'm just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Listen,
yes, yes. We're gonna
I'm
be
over it."
we're gonna be those guys that
We're
tell
gonna
you
be
know
b essentially
back in our days we didn't have
essentially, we
this
are
much
going to
time.
be the baby boomers of their
Yes,
time.
yes, and that's
So,
and that's the
isn't
problem.
that sad?
I don't want to be like
I
that.
don't wanna be like that, but isn't that sad to think about?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
we are going to be the baby boomers of
yes,
their
yes,
generation? Because
yeah. They're gonna be
2040? Do you
yeah, yeah.
what?
They're
Like,
gonna
by then, what? I'm in my 50s?
mhm,
Yikes, man. I'm gonna
yeah,
be the baby boomer of that
yeah.
generation.
I don't want to be too out of touch. I want to be. I don't want. I'm like, but at some point, I'm probably going to be out of touch, right?
Yeah,
Like, at some point. But it is what it is. I'll
yeah.
try to
Like, I'm
adapt
going
as
to by
much as possible. But
the end of, generation beta,
yeah,
I mean, I won't be that old, but I'll be
hmm
right there, right at 50 almost.
yeah, yeah,
You'll be past that.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
sad when you think about it, because
yeah,
I think
yeah.
about the
So
fact that, like, right now, I'm like, I'm out of touch, not even just with technology, I'm
yeah,
out of touch with the slang,
social,
I'm out of
yeah,
touch, like, I'll have my
social
mom be,
norms.
like, asking me what something means. I'm like, "The hell if I know?" I'm at that point now where I'm like, "I don't
Yeah,
freaking know
yeah.
what that means."
Like, I'm gonna have to, learn, like,
I don't want to,
like
though.
I'm watching like a
Love
bit of
slang or
YouTube, but
anything.
like just to try to like understand something.
Eh,
It's like
I've
ask the
caught on
social
to some
norms.
things,
Yeah, yeah.
but
So
not
it's,
everything. Like, my brother will
yeah,
say something to me, and I'm like,
yeah,
"What
yeah,
are you saying?"
yeah. See
And I'm at that point,
that's
but
gonna be
that's exactly it. Like, when it was our time and we had our slang,
uh
no one knew what that our
hmm
parents didn't necessarily know
yeah.
what
I bet
everything
no.
meant. Now
Now
it's
we're
us.
technically we're there.
We're there.
We're there basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm trying to learn about the social norms and everything. But like on YouTube, see what's out there and etc. I don't want to be too out of touch, but at some
I mean,
point
I don't care that much, to be
it's
totally
yeah
honest, because this slang will be replaced by other slang. I can't keep up with the slang. Let
yeah
me just stay in
yeah
my
yeah
world of
yeah
the
I Gen Z slang I know some of them,
some. That's it.
but
I know the
When Gen
basics.
Alpha comes out, Gen huh
I know, like, the basics, like, I always say I know
yeah yeah
Delulu or
yeah
Riz or, I
yeah
know that,
yeah
but,
yeah
we talked about the slang already for Gen Z, and
mhm
it's like,
mhm
"What the hell?"
mhm
But there are limits, definitely.
Gen Alpha, it's gonna be yeah, we're gonna be out of touch with the Gen Alpha when it comes to with
Yeah,
with slang and all that
yeah.
stuff. But yeah, yeah,
But I think
yeah,
when
yeah.
some of the Gen Alphas have grown up a little bit, because like,
Mhm, mhm,
my friend's daughter is Gen Alpha, she's, 2012, and
mhm, mhm.
she's still kind of more with the Gen Z because she's still
J
so close to that.
Yeah,
Um, but I think, like, anyone that's closer to, like, the 2020 mark or 2020, I think it goes to 2024,
yeah.
um, it, yeah, that'll be interesting to see what something
Mhm,
looks like. Because right
mhm,
now they're only 5 or 6
mhm,
or 1 or 2,
mhm, mhm.
so
Yeah,
we'll see what
exactly.
happens as they get
Yeah,
older.
yeah, yeah. So I don't want to be a baby, so I'm gonna yeah.
Well, I
So
think unfortunately,
I
we will
don't
be a baby boomer
yeah.
of their generation,
Yeah, so
unfortunately.
yeah, we're gonna see articles like, yeah, their
Back
fashion
in
is
my day,
yeah, exactly, exactly.
yeah.
And then we're gonna be blaming them. It's like
Yeah, they're
too
gonna blame us.
lazy.
We're gonna get blamed
Yeah,
for things that they don't get.
Gen Alpha and Beta are the laziest generation
Yeah, we're gonna
ever.
say shit like that, for sure.
Like all they
And then
do is
they're gonna say instead of being "Okay, boomer," they're gonna say "Okay, millennial." Like, that's what's gonna happen. Like, Jesus.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a problem. I
No,
hate that. I hate that. It's disgusting. Oh yeah. Okay.
but
Yeah.
we still have some time before we have to worry about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Anyway,
That's it. That's
that's it.
basically it for the generations. And yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So we will be back on Monday with
Mhm.
another one.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, that'll be our 3 topic one. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think that's it.
Yep. That's it. All right.
All right.
These guys.
Bye.
Uh,
If you liked what you heard with our podcast, you can head on over to our website, which is solo.to/next take podcast. There you can get any of the links to any of our social media, which is Facebook, Instagram at Next Take Podcast, and Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Next Take Pod. You can also find links to our Reddit page and many other things, I'm sure. Can't remember all off the top of my head. You can also email us at mikeltanyka@gmail.com. There you can send us any inquiries you have, any questions, or also any episode ideas. And if you do have episode ideas, just make sure you put in the subject line episode ideas, and we'll add it to our list. If you also liked us, you can like us, rate us, follow us on any of your favorite podcast apps. You can rate us, however, on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We would greatly appreciate that. And we'll also move forward and share or spot a light on those who give us 5-star ratings in the future. That is it for us. We'll see you next time for the episode.